Hello, welcome to Sound and Fury Book Reviews. As usual, I am Tina. Today I'm doing a book review of Far Flung by Utunu. This is a book that came out in 2024. It's a sci-fi fantasy. It's self-published. So I received this book from the SPSSC4, where I am a judge. This book is one of our team's quarterfinalists, so I'm going to be doing a full review of it. But first of all, do you like my lipstick? I don't know. I don't know if it suits me. Anyway, Far Flung is an incredibly cozy sci-fi fantasy with very charming characters. What is it about? On the harsh barren planet of Sands, in the small settlement of Oasis, live three young companions, the inseparable Phoenix, Bori and Tuther, and their best friend, the hyena Samna. Bori is psionic, and on the distant planet of Verdant, psionics are fervently sought. When the two planets are in conjunction, a shuttle journeys between them, bringing needed resources to Sands and hoping to take gifted psionics back to the lush Verdant in return. The shuttle's imminent arrival signifies opportunities for Oasis, but for the trio it instead invokes dread. For if Bori is chosen, he'd be taken from his dearest friends and the only home he's ever known. Bori would be broken without Tuther. Tuther would be broken without Bori. And Samna, all he can do is help make the remaining days together a little brighter. When I read the first 15% of this novel in the initial round, I very easily voted yes on it. It's very well written, in that I didn't notice any typos or negative issues I sometimes see with self-published books, like head hopping or like too much passive voice. The story starts quickly and the stakes, while low, really they're set up nicely. It's, as I said, very charming. It's like a little hug of a book, and I thought the characters were very cute and endearing. I'm also all for queer stories. If you know, if you follow my channel, you know that. If you love rather calm stories with a tight-knit group of friends/lovers, furry culture, which I'm assuming this is based on, with sci-fi sometimes it's hard to know, and great writing, you will like this, and you should totally check it out. It's great for, if you've kind of, have gone through a hard time and you just want something light to read to kind of take your mind off of it, this one is really great for that. The thing is, though, the further I got into the novel, I was kind of less into it. Nothing about the novel dropped off in quality of the writing. It's just that I think the cozy aspect got a bit too much for me personally, and I got a little bit bored. All conflicts, except for the one at the very end, were so minor or were resolved so easily, there was not a great deal of tension, at least for me. And then the finale had a lot of action jammed together so that the pacing was a little bit off. It also was the epitome of quickly, as it's kind of all stems from a very logical and potentially colony-saving request of a character that another character instantly rejects. And the vehemence of the rejection I thought was kind of out of character of the character. And then this whole thing kind of spirals out of control. I didn't really understand the hesitation, I think. That was the problem. I 100% agree that 100% it should be a choice. But why he was choosing to abstain, that is what confused me. I just didn't really understand that. Maybe it was me. That's highly possible. But I just didn't really get that whole what caused this kind of climax. Another thing that didn't work as well for me, though I think might have worked well for other people, was that the characters are a little bit too similar for me. One says occasionally risque things, the other is sort of the leader, and the third blushes a lot. Other than that, I found not a lot distinguished them from one another, and they had no sort of conflict between them. While the one did give the, odd amusing comment that I really liked, there wasn't much banter. I also didn't understand why one character kept his powers a secret. It's never really explained about why he feared using them. I didn't really get that. So I just felt like there was no interpersonal kind of drama between the three of them. And while I'm not fond of characters fighting all the time or having miscommunication trope, I hate that. I just kind of felt like their relationships were a bit too kind of easy. But I mean, that's the thing though. That I think is the kind of issue you can run into with cozy, is that if you add too much kind of conflict, it takes it away from being cozy. But sometimes the coziness can be kind of a hindrance to tension. And I mean, I think that this book worked really well for the other judges. For me, I found that was something that held me back from loving it. I do think it's a really great, well-written book, though. I'm not trying to tear it down. I just think because this one was one that I'm reviewing for a competition, I have to be a bit more specific in kind of my opinions on it. So that's kind of why I'm going a bit deeper into the things that didn't work 100% for me, because I think that that is something I need to talk about versus like going on and on about what I really liked, if that makes sense, because there was a lot to really like about this book. One thing I really liked about the novel, and I think is really cool about the world building, is the idea of the two colonies, only accessible with certain powers at a limited time per year. I thought that was really, really neat. The worlds are also described very well, and I loved the canyons and the mineral hunting aspect. That was really cool. I mean, there isn't a ton about the minerals themselves, it's kind of like them gathering them, but the way that they use that setting and that kind of backdrop to kind of learn to use their powers more, I thought that was a really neat way of doing it. It also made sense because they were trying to do it kind of secretly, so it made sense they were doing it like kind of out in the open where no one was around. There's also lovely images dropped in here and there that were a really nice touch, and that cover is absolutely gorgeous. Definitely one of the best of our Lam, and probably the best one. There is a lot to love about this novel, and if you're looking for something really cozy with a cool world building, you should totally check it out. Yeah, so thank you to the competition for giving me the review copy. Yeah, I really liked it. Thanks.